Hello, good morning, good morning. Should be good. Where is my position? I'm looking for a buy. If we can break above resistance over here. I took one sell this morning, got a BE on that sell. But, you know, price has been struggling. It's been really struggling to move up. I mean, we're really bullish, but since a pre-London session, we've been kind of struggling here a little bit to move up. So I think we're just waiting for the London Open. Now with the London Open, we should be able to see some kind of a volume come in. That's what I'm waiting for. Morning guys. Morning everybody. But this is nice. This is what we wanted to see gold do today. I got the feeling a lot of fireworks on VIX, wicks, and dips. No whips, trade pips today. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We need this volume to clean out a little bit. We needed to come back in. So I'm thinking maybe at the break of the high right there. By 47.22. I actually thought it would give us a little bit more of a retracement though. A little retracement a little further down. And then maybe set it up here to go up. But if it comes up straight like this, I think I'll feel a lot more comfortable with a new 5-minute open. So if we get the 5-minute candlestick to... let's see, get up like this. Boom. This one's about to close in 1 minute. And then the next one to do that, that would be awesome. I don't want this one to rip up because you see it's like it's a bit long, right? It's a bit long candle. But anyway, hourly candlestick is still pretty fresh over here. It hasn't yet had to move on the hourly. Literally just looking to buy ATH right now. That's the game plan. 47.22 straight rockets. I'm telling you, Trump is gonna be giving us some really good volume here. Up like Donald Trump. Up like Donald Trump. Alright, new 5 minutes should be opening. So we're about to get that situation that I spoke about. Candlestick closes bullish like this. Next to resistance, there's going to be a shotgun play. First entry is going to be at the break of these highs on that 5-minute candlesticks, creating a bottom wick, then re-break of the highs. That's going to be the shotgun. I'm going to wait for it to come and re-break the ATH by 47.22. Should be able to keep moving up. Oh, yep, shotgun. Did we actually even break? How much did we break by? Oh, yeah, that was a trigger right there. So you even see that reaction. So I'm gonna wait a little bit longer so we can get like a proper break. And we're gonna have a good day here today. Then we can chill. Hey, good morning, Mr. Rashid. Good morning, good morning. So the 30 minutes doing, 30 minutes climbing up quite nicely. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bullish candles in a row on the Asia Open. We're creating a support. Like right now, it's overall at a point A. This general vicinity right here. That's overall at a point A, correct? So we could be able to see volume start to come in and then start to break these highs and then continue to move up bullish there. So you can see with the amount of structure that we formed, right? So let's wait and see how far this thing can keep pushing up. It's only up like 1.05% on the daily, which is which can push a lot more than this. We can see twice as much volume for the rest of the day. Any fundamental work? Gold tops at 4,700 as Greenland tensions fuel trade war fears. Gold surged past 4,700 an ounce, while silver retreated from an all-time peak as President Donald Trump push to take over Greenland stalked fears and potential US-Europe trade war. Markets are waiting for Europe's response to Trump's threat to impose tariffs on 8 European nations that oppose his Greenland ambitions. Investors are also watching for developments from Davos, where Trump said he will meet with several parties to discuss his plan to take over Greenland. Wait, isn't that happening tomorrow? Because Trump is due to speak, I think, tomorrow. France's Emmanuel Macron, meanwhile, declined. Okay, wait a second. Goldie's creeping up over here. Emmanuel Macron. All right. Would it be better for a 5-minute close above 720? 5-minute close above resistance already. It's just did a bottom wick, created a bottom wick to retest at 8 SMA. Now it's continuing up. Let's create a bottom wick. Waiting for buy here. Oh. I think I stuck in too early. But let's see. My entry is right here. Let's fly, baby. Let's go, Goldie. Let's fly. I believe in you. All right, chat. Secure it right here. Beautiful. Congratulations, everybody caught this move here, boys. And now price can keep moving bullish. We can keep moving bullish over here. I got stuck in early, which is a good thing, because when it came there, it put me in, but like at a better price too. Done and dusted. Let's fly. Let's fly, Goldie. I was like, oh, hold up a second. You stopped right there at the entry? No way, Goldie. No way. Beautiful. Simple. And this is why we love these types of days. Easy pickings. But I think I was waiting for the London Open. London Open was the one that was to bring the volume. Because since that pre-London session time, only thing I've been seeing is sells. For pre-London session at least. You know, so we got some rejections here, and you know, we did have some sell-offs. This was pretty much the whole of no, where is it? Right here. From the time I trade from 1 to 2. From this section, as you can see right here, it was mainly to do with just selling pressure. Mainly selling pressure. So I didn't see no buys, no buy confirmations, nothing. It came a bit later on here towards an hour before London Open for that continuation. And then we just came in here for the London Open itself to get the buy. Pretty straightforward. Let's go. Let's see. All right. I was a perfect entry on entry also. Well stream done next. Yes. Now we move over to the next trade, because I feel like I still catch a trade later. I can still catch a trade later. It's just pre-session was just not giving it. It's a London session which is gonna give it. It seems the volume's starting to come back in. Merry Trump Day. Oh yes, and he's due to speak tomorrow as well, Mr. Trump. So you know that's gonna bring in some really nice opportunities for us too. But if you watched yesterday's breakdown video, you could see that I spoke about how that daily would be most likely towards the end of the video pushing upwards, and it did end up pushing upwards. You know, it did end up pushing upwards with volume. Not just pushing upwards, but pushing upwards with volume. Because that was the key thing. That was the key point about yesterday's video. And that would be what would kind of like, you know, help facilitate some of these buys that you saw over here. So congratulations everybody who's trading the Asia session over here. I think you all managed to catch a really good dub. Because look at this beautiful distribution right here. Look at the beautiful distribution from what we mentioned yesterday. Price is going to go up, chat. When Trump is like this, forget about any gap fills and anything of that sort. You know, price is gonna go up. Like technicals, they don't really play so much a role. It's just obviously you see it just gives us entry confirmation right here. It lets us know like how to get into our trade. But it doesn't really, they don't really like play that much a role. Trump is in the bad boy era. Yes, sir. Raja Banks is in a good entry. As a good entry. What did he say? He said also yesterday 46.85. Oh, he said yesterday as well he was looking for buys. That's buy 46.85 at the breakout. Oh, at the break of the highs. Yeah, you see, I got a better entry here. TFX concepts. This would have been it right here. This would have been 46.76. But obviously, I can't tell you that because this didn't happen. When I was making the video, it's market close. So that hasn't yet happened. So I can't like predict when the setup is gonna come. You just have to be patient enough to wait for it. If you're patient, then break into the Asia Open right here. And then you can start to see candlesticks are printing. You're like, okay, it looks interesting right here. Got a little consolidation breakout. Boom, boom, boom. Execute and expect price to continue moving up. Yeah, but I guess like when we do these types of videos, it's harder to like tell it obviously because it doesn't happen yet. But it's easier to say based off of like what's already formed, I suppose. You know, like if you got structure like this, yeah, it's easier to say, okay, sells below here. If we break this low, maybe buys above here. If we break this high, or maybe we start breaking this level. So it's 46.84. I see it with this wick as well, because then you can have a wick fill once you break above 46.82 up here by like 87 pips, and then continue to break these highs to move up bullish. So I guess that's why that area was a nice confluence zone. You could either use about that area here, or you could use this zone right over here as price starts to break. Yeah, I mean, it's really good market conditions. These are those times when you really want to be involved when it comes to chart work, like trading. Oh, it's doing a small little reversal looking play. Oh wait, no, that's sorry. Yeah, that's from the Asia. This is the times you really want to be involved in the market. You know, this is not a time to be second guessing yourself or, you know, feeling scared and all that stuff. It's a time for you to be really confident because we do have catalysts driving the market right now. See how much did that spike up? About 33. We do have catalysts at play. So this, man, if you don't feel confident now, I don't know when you're gonna feel confident. You know, XAUSD gold clocks. It's not clocking to you. It's not clocking to you that I'm standing on business, gold. 4,700 after traders ramp up long bets amid Greenland turmoil. Safe Haven goes full beast mode. Who said gold was boring and outdated? Man, I saw Russia's brother said, don't trade gold. And I was like, what? What do you mean don't trade gold? Gold is in full beast mode right now. What are you talking about? And said, oh, trade EU. What? EU? Man, the oldest trade in the books blasted through 4,700 Tuesday morning, printing 47.15 intraday as traders piled into safety, hedging, geopolitical risk, and policy chaos. Silver didn't want to feel left out, tagging 94.60 bucks. When both metals rally together, that's usually FOMO talking louder than fundamentals. Oh, yeah? I mean, there's a bit of FOMO. Like, I feel like there's a lot of FOMO also where gold is at right now, because that zone that we're currently at, it was pulling quite a lot. It was pulling down quite a lot. It seemed like a situation where there's a lot of people just wanting to buy gold, but just due to that FOMO, the market wanted to take advantage. That's why I think that pre-London session was a bit was a bit full of pullbacks. That's how it felt like. My spread at some point before I came on the chart, my spread was like really big for a second, and it held there for a little bit. I wondered like what was going on, but I reckon that's what was happening. People were really feeling a lot of FOMO, especially when they come in quite late because the moves have been happening throughout the Asia session. The spark escalating tension after Donald Trump threatened new tariffs on European allies over control of Greenland. Yes, that Greenland, the EU is already discussing retaliation, which markets read as trade war sequel. Never great for risk assets, but excellent for gold bugs. Yeah, I think we're gold bugs here. You know, like how you gotta have gym rats? I think we're like gold rats. I think that's what it's called. Safe haven flows kicked in hard as traders priced geopolitical escalation, not negotiation vibes. Trump is now in. I like this type of writing over here. Well, what article is this? This looks like TradingView. Yeah, this is a TradingView article. The writing is quite nice. Let's see. Trump is now in Davos for an annual Uber Rich WEF event, and he'll be speaking with various parties about the Greenland acquisition. Futures data shows traders ramping up long bets. That's leverage bullish positioning, adding fuel to an already parabolic move that has taken gold's market cap above 30 trillion. Sheesh. Gold's market cap is 30 trillion. I don't even know that. Gold thrives when real rates look shaky and politics look messy. Right now, both boxes are ticked in a bold marker. With silver breaking out harder and faster, this rally smells like a diversified macro approach. They said they've been suggested to add 10% of institutional funds towards commodities and more like concentrated momentum chasing. Yes, sir. Man, people gotta invest in gold this year. After seeing what happened last year and what's to be anticipated for the rest of this year, people gotta keep investing in gold. 1 minute structure is cooking up. Zero drawdown as well on this one too. Just skyrocketed. Make Greenland great again. Make Greenland great again. What type of TFX concepts did you use to execute on gold? Buys on gold? Oh, there was a shotgun entry right here by 4720. It was just creating a longer bottom wick, it seems. That was the first confirmation. The second confirmation was a break at the all-time highs. Break at the all-time highs, but I got in like sooner over here. Did you see the crazy whiplash happen about an hour ago? Yeah, this was a crazy whiplash here. That's why like pre-session it felt a bit odd. The volume felt like a bit strange. I even mentioned my spread was pretty high at some point. I don't know why. Let's see, German 40. You got NAS US 30 all dumping. Beat. It's coming back into the gulag again. Oh wow, look at that volume coming like that. Oh holy, Holy, why you run? What the heck is going on? Whips. What the heck is this? What's going on here? Well, I'm glad I'm out. I'm out of the sharky waters. I'm out of the sharky waters. You gotta think about trading like swimming from an island to island. You know, so every day you got a chance to swim from this island to the next island. You don't get caught by the shark. Shark right here. You gotta be like Johnny Depp there when he gets put on that island. And be like, okay, now we gotta plan our escape here again. But we gotta make this fast. Damn, man. Where's the volatility coming from though? I don't get it. There's no news right now. There's nothing. There's nothing to say why price should behave like this. Yeah, people are just hitting buy, it seems. Buy. Gotta survive the sharky waters. Man, this year is gonna outpace my last year, I think. I'm already up 30%. This year is gonna outpace my last year. Because, you know, now we know. Now we know what to expect. Last year, the volume started coming in more towards... I think it was March. More towards March. But now we kind of know what to anticipate, correct? Now we know. Now we know. So I think you're gonna be ready for it. So we have about how many more days over here? We got about like 1 more week. 2 more weeks, kind of, yeah. 2 more weeks. So chat, this year, you see what I always say? My first year trading was COVID. I didn't know nothing about charts. There were a lot of opportunities, people making a lot of money. I had no idea. I couldn't even differentiate like what's an average true volume. Like I didn't know what a usual 5-minute would look like, a 1 minute. You know, I just didn't know what usual speed looks like and what momentum and volume looked like. Right? For obviously the better part of that first year is you're still building experience. Correct? But now you've already experienced volume throughout 2025. So you know that this is a lot of volume. This is not normal. This is a lot of volume that we have. These candlesticks are pretty big. Right? These are pretty huge candles. 30 pips on 1 minute. It doesn't mean that it's risky to trade. It's not necessarily risky to trade if you know what you're doing. It's risky to trade if you don't know what you're doing. But if you know what you're doing, then it's perfect. Like, well, that's exactly what you want to see. Because the average, like, trust me, chat, like from 2024 backwards, typical stop losses on gold were like 10 pips. 10 pips, 15 pips, like below structure or above structure. Here, even 20 pips, you're not getting below structure. Look at this. There's no structure here. I'm just putting my stop loss based off of the amount of volume that we have because I don't see a need to increase more because that would be like 30 plus pips for stop losses below structure. Now imagine for people who trading always based off of structure, that means like this year that there's, and last year their stop loss has increased really big. And depending on how the trade, you know, that could be affecting certain things. But yeah, I think this year is going to be pretty nice year for volume. Did I send the signal? Yes. This is the same as the whips. I was talking about. This is the second one today now. Do I have a Telegram group? Yeah. We're live on Discord though. We stream on Discord, but the Telegram is where the signal is sent. Why NAS 100 is melting like that? Is it because of Trump? Yeah. I'm ready in gold buys. Entered 46. Oh, 4666. We were playing with 4666 quite a bit yesterday. If you've still been holding since then, you know, amazing. Like, this is what I mean. This is what people kind of preempt. Some people like to trade like that, you know, because we know this. I made a video on this yesterday. We know there's a pretty good chance. Like, even if you just randomly hit a buy here, it's not 50-50 that price goes up. If you just randomly hit a buy, no confirmation, and put your stop loss below structure, it's still like, I would say maybe 80%. 80% probability that it goes up. It's not 50-50 because of what we currently have moving markets. So I could see that happen. If you like trade like this, amazing. You know, really nice PA. Similar thing that happened also previously. But I guess the news came out on the weekend, so you couldn't have caught this move. I think it came out on Saturday, right, chat? When Trump said that, it looks like because we didn't get the movement on Friday, we got like a liquidity grab, which is quite interesting as well. Because you see how ahead of reality markets are? It's like, how do we get a liquidity grab here before Trump mentions these things, which pushes price up bullish? Then you look at that and you really wonder like, what's going on here? You know, like, how is that possible? How is that possible? We get like such a PA before Trump comes out and says something. Insider trading. You want to know something interesting? Congress is the only people who are allowed insider trading. It's not illegal for them. The people who pass laws and bills. That's why you see people work at Congress. They all gonna have like a net worth of, you know, maybe like 10 million, 20 million, and they're just working in government. But it's not illegal for them for insider trading. They're the only people in the Senate who can do insider trading and get away with it. Even Trump can't do it legally. But obviously he does it, but he can't do it legally. So when you look at that, you're gonna see that the chart work, the price action is ahead of reality. It's not illegal, man. It's not illegal. They get away with it. People in Congress and people who pass on bills, they get away with it. They get away with it, man. They get away with it. It's not illegal for them. If it was illegal, we would have had more of them in prison by now. Look at their net worth. It doesn't equate to the salaries. These guys get paid a lot of money because they're in the mix. They're in the mix. They're the only group of people who can get away with it. Companies and stuff like that, they're not gonna get away with it. You wanna get rich? You gotta get rich, you gotta liaise with these old white people in government. That's how you're gonna get rich. If you work in government, you gotta liaise with all these old white people. They're the ones who are raking it in. You see all of Trump's buddies? Those guys are all raking it in. They're like in their 70s. They don't even need that much money, but they're raking it in. Of course, they're Congress. Why shouldn't they? Those guys are raking it in. So if you're ever in government, you got to make friends with those old white people. But that's how I've broken it down over the years as well. Oh, Lee! Where are you going, Goldie?
Why are you running? Why are you running?
Get up there, son. Jeez, where's the volume coming from? Like, it's literally just people hitting buy. People are just trying to buy gold. Imagine taking a sell right there. Bet you somebody somewhere in their room, retail trader in a quiet room somewhere, just took a sell and wondered like how their stop loss got hit so much over here. And they're just sitting in disbelief. They're like, man, what the heck just happened? Somewhere out there in the world. Yes, exactly. You know, you can have access to follow trades of those guys. I don't know how, but some people do. And they follow, then in and profit. One trader that does that is Fabio Valentino. Ah, nice. I don't know. I wish I had somebody who worked there. You know, then that would be nice. But I guess they also can't be super irresponsible with that type of power. Because obviously you wouldn't tell people such things and kind of like put yourself in a incriminating position as well. So I don't know, must be nice. Hey, good morning, Schwartz. Markets. Did you change your name, Joshua? Joshua Schwartz Markets Aurelius. So I don't have any buddies working at Congress, but I do know how to read price action and fundamentals. And I guess that's it. That's my edge. But for these events that happen over the weekend, very tricky. It's like a gamble, because how do you know that Trump is going to do something over the weekend? Because that's information that we're not going to have access to. Over a weekend, we can't tell. But after the fact, we can't tell. Because, you know, the good thing is that this volume that comes in, it needs time and space to assimilate into the market. So for us retail traders, our smaller fish, we can get in when the waves are building, right? You get in when the waves are building, because they can't get in all at once. It's not like they can just do one and done like you see these rug pulls on meme coins. It takes time. It's a process. You know, even when you're seeing price selling, they're buying. Price is selling, they're buying, selling, but they have to sell as well, create those orders, buy, orders, buy. Then that's when we come in, like 1 or 2, 3 trades a day, and that's it. You know, maybe sometimes like this, you can hold your trades a bit longer. Sometimes like this, maybe you can be a bit more taking more risk, have a bigger risk appetite. But never feel like you're missing out. Don't feel like there's not a lot of moves to go around. The market's abundant of moves. It's abundant of moves. Just like, you know, when you find success in your life, man, sometimes I sit down wondering, like, man, I gotta thank God for all the success He's given me. But at the same time, I feel so insignificant because of how much abundance of success there is to go around. Right? You're still appreciative, but you also feel so insignificant because you truly understand how much success there is to go around. It's like there's so much that even you can't feel satisfied with the little bit that God has given you, but you should be humbled and appreciated. But it's just so much. You know, it's so big. It's so much. That's how it feels sometimes. That's how it feels. It's just, you know, sometimes people just gotta lock in. Like that's all it is. People just gotta lock in. There's some who are chosen who are not online. There are many profitable traders who are not online. You know, the people who trade online on YouTube was such a small minority of profitable traders. You know, it's people who prefer to do this privately. But like live streamers like this, man, there's so few of us live streamers who actually provide like solid value. So few. So few. Because, you know, why would you? Why would you live stream? Why? It's got to be a passion. There's got to be something, you know, you just love doing. I've been on YouTube since 2012. I had several YouTube channels as a kid. You know, those channels, I deleted my videos. They were kind of cringe. But looking back at it now, I wish I kind of kept them. But I've been doing this like for as long as I can remember. You know, I've always been on YouTube. Always. I've always been on YouTube. I've always been on social spaces. You know, when PlayStation 3 came out, man, I used to love that game, PlayStation Home. You know, like virtual spaces like that. I've always been in that realm. That's the only reason I do this. You know, but there's so many people who would not do this. So many people. But that's also good because, you know, it doesn't mean you have to do this to be profitable. Because sometimes people think you have to do this to be profitable. But you don't, you know, you don't. Some people think it helps with like discipline, but it will only make it worse for you. 100%. Because now you're juggling 2 businesses. Hey, what's up, Trade Delicious? Trade Delicious, welcome, welcome. I wouldn't do it. For me, my trade would be worse for sure. Yeah, this thing is there. It's still struggling. Like, that's the thing I noticed about gold. Like, it's still struggling for some reason. Yeah, we're getting the bullish exuberance, but it's like perfectly timed, you see? Because we're trying to get in at the highest probability zone and then kind of like avoid it later. So it's like it's like robbing a bank, essentially. So every day we know when to rob the bank, right? We know when we got to get in and when we got to get out. So we can avoid a lot of this unnecessary choppiness. It'd be a lot harder to trade, you know, because like over the years, you got to imagine like you're looking at this bits of PA as in slices. So with a bit more experience, because back in the days I would trade whenever, but with a bit more experience, you'd start to like look at it in bits of slices, like slices of how does this slice here operate over a certain time period. So which ones have the highest probabilities of giving you good trades, as opposed to maybe different slices like here, or maybe another one like here. But I think that one just comes with like time, right? The more you look at charts, and then with time, obviously you're gonna see that. I think when you're forward testing it, it's a lot. It hits home a lot more easier than when you back test it. Because I think like forward testing and back testing is still kind of different. It feels different. Because, you know, in real time, you get to see how the volume reacts. You get to see that how the pressure is, you know, how the candles. When you back test, it's like frozen in time, right? Literally like candlesticks frozen in time, like literally time frozen. It's a candle. This is like a 1 minute candle here, a frozen 1 minute candlestick. So you don't really get much emotion from that. You know, it's like cold. But when you're doing a forward testing, you get to really truly understand how that session operates. You know, that's one thing you don't get when you're backtesting. You don't see how your entries would look, really, like how your emotions would be as you wait for those candles. ARX is just getting a bit cold. Explore Fantasy. What are you waiting for a trade today? Well, we just took a trade right here, Dan. We're waiting for TFX confirmations. Teaching is a good way of mitigating financial risk as a trader. Yes, that's true. That's true. Right? Or you could be like Nick Stewart and charge $200 plus for support and resistance signals. Does he actually send signals? I think I'm the only live streamer who sends signals. I don't think I know anybody else. Like actual signals, not like, oh, here's a picture of a chart. There's a line and there's a line. We're up another $100 per ounce on gold. It's getting apocalyptic. Let's see. Gold breaks through 4,700 on weaker dollar safe haven buying. Gold prices sold past $4,700 mark for the first time on a weaker dollar, and as the fears of renewed trade tensions spark a rush to safe haven assets. Futures in New York climbed to 2.9%, having reached 47.31. Earlier in the session, the dollar index is down 0.7, making bullion cheaper for buyers using other currencies. Meanwhile, silver rises 6.7. A mix of geopolitical uncertainty and fears over central bank independence has unsettled investors. Yeah, driving inflows into precious metals after an exceptionally strong performance last year. And imagine, we thought this year was going to consolidate for a bit and pull back, right? And then Trump came in and said, nope. Said, nope, pump it up. Because price action itself was due for consolidation and pullbacks. But Trump said no last weekend. Investors are favoring gold and silver over currencies and government bonds amid rising US debt levels and heightened policy unpredictability. I really wonder how much Trump's net worth is. If Elon Musk is 700 billion, NASA spent trillions of dollars to go to space. Elon Musk is worth 700 billion. Always keep that in mind. You know, the amount of financial power that he has is minuscule to what NASA has in their pocket to make things happen. Right? The thing is, Elon Musk, he's very like forward about these things, and he has a different sort of agenda. But he's only worth 700 billion. So I'm like wondering, like, what's the true net worth of somebody like Trump? Because I doubt he's doing all these things just to be president, to make America great again. You know, once an entrepreneur, always an entrepreneur. Thinking of becoming congressman so I could do insider trading. Yeah, that would be, that is definitely a perk. Yeah, Musk is the richest man in the world according to the internet. According to the internet, is the richest man alive. But you know, there's been families who have had wealth over many generations, accumulated wealth, and they're not gonna say these things. They never disclose these things, so you're gonna never know. But yeah, on the books, he's the richest man. It's 700 billion. But you know, it's cash poor, right? Because even if you got 700 billion, there's no way you're gonna ever withdraw that money. There's no bank which is ever gonna withdraw that money. So all you gotta do is buy land. Buy land, buy real estate, just buy random shit. Like that's why Bill Gates is one of the biggest landowners in the world. He's got a lot of money too. Here's Bill Gates, right? Man, you got so much money, you just have to... You guys got... How much is it saying here? Bill Gates is the largest private owner of farmland in the US with around 275,000 acres across many states. Primarily acquired through his investment fund, Cascade Investments. You got so much money, you're like, damn, I gotta throw this away. You know, at this point, you find very little satisfaction in anything because you know the game is over. The game is over. You're not gonna buy a Pagani. You're not gonna buy a Bugatti and be happy about it. The game is finished. You know, like when you finish playing a video game, you've all been there, like you gamers. What happens when we get all the stuff in the video game? What happens? How do you feel? You know, how do you feel when you get playing Red Dead Redemption and then you end up getting the fastest horse, the best guns, the best clothes? How do you feel after that? After that in the video game? That's exactly how you're gonna feel in real life. Exactly that feeling. You're bored, right? You get bored and you're like, oh man, you know what else is there? And you just buy stuff to buy stuff at that point. And it's just it. That's just the game's over. So what you gotta do? You gotta find another game. You gotta wait for the next level. What's that next level? Could be like going to space with Elon Musk. This is the next level. You know? You just gotta find something that excites you at that point. But it's gonna be beyond materialistic things. Because the earth only has so much to offer. So you gotta focus on the process. That's why I always say, like, even to get to that point, you have to be very process orientated. Because you can never chase it. When you chase it, it literally runs away from you. So you have to be in love with what you do. You know, you gotta be in love with what you do, and just do what you love. You just roam around aimlessly exploring the map, no minigames. Yeah, when I finished Red Dead Redemption, I was just like walking the hills, going up the mountains, appreciating the beautiful development of the game, looking at the sunsets. Then you get your little farm area as well. Then you can do like farming and stuff. Literally, the guy retires at the game, at the end of the game, when you've achieved everything. Back to a simple life. You know, that's something that Alan Watts says. Alan Watts says, if you could dream any dream and live any life, in the end of everything, you will be right back where you started. Love Alan Watts, one of my favorite philosophers. You do money glitches and purchases. Yeah, I mean, you don't need to do them anymore because it's already, you got way... You know, even at some point, the game doesn't make sense for you to have any more money than you need. Because they did not expect you to be glitching like a madman. So it's like, you have all this money, but there's nothing that the game can provide you. Every game has a certain amount that you need to buy everything. Alan Watts OG knowledge? Yes, sir. Definitely an OG. If you control food supply, yeah, Bill Gates is on another level. Say he's the one who started the coronavirus, so he can give the cure of that as well. Because he's been known for certain conspiracies back in the days of Microsoft, where he would sell you the antivirus. But he would first create the virus. Which is a pretty smart business move. Just manipulating markets, you know? YouTube also manipulates markets. Because if you look at YouTube, they have their own internal market going on. You know, it gets deep. Businesses get very deep, chat. Very deep. So if you look at, I wish I could show like my analytics. So every channel has certain analytics. So this is how analytics look like, right? So YouTube is in its own universe of markets. They have all these charts. Like every channel has all these charts, and the algorithms, they every time now and then they change and they affect channels. I see my channel right now is being affected. Other channels are also going to be affected. Sometimes I get really high views, sometimes I get really low views, and it's based off like how those algorithms operate. And if you go on Social Blade, for example, or not Social Blade, but if you had all the data of all channels, you're going to see during certain months of the year, you might see peaks, like drops on those channels, like steep drops or like steep increases and that sort of thing, like in unison. So that's an algorithm at work. But remember, YouTube works with advertisers. So we get paid because advertisers are willing to show their products on our videos. Correct? So it's like a whole ecosystem that they've created themselves, like their own marketplace they've created themselves. Right? And if they want to, I've always suspected they can manipulate the algorithm on a much larger scale to make more money if they need to do that. Right? Because they can manipulate it. It's their platform. So they can do certain things. Maybe even fabricate certain things to get more payouts from the advertisers to say, hey, these guys have been watching your videos, so you need to pay them. And YouTube gets a cut at the end of the month. They take 30% from each content creator. So sometimes they can even fabricate that so advertisers pay them more. Because now they're in control. They're the judge, jury, and executioner. You know, but they live in this own universe. And that's why it's such a huge platform. I wish we had something more than this. It's too big to fail. And they're gonna have all the rules and sayings of what you can do, what you can post. Can't do nothing. It's like the Oprah show. You know, Oprah show was the biggest TV show, raking in 60 million live concurrent viewers at some point at Oprah's peak. 60 million. That's equivalent to like a Super Bowl at Oprah's peak, right? But she was the judge, jury, and executioner. So if you were a celebrity back in those days and you went on the Oprah show, she could edit the videos how she wanted to. She could ask you random questions that you were not expecting and then edit the videos and then paint that narrative for the world to see. She had a lot of power back in the days. I remember, like, if y'all remember when the TV was always on, there would always be at some point an Oprah show going on in the background, right? Somehow, some way, Oprah would just show up on your TV before like Netflix and all that stuff. So that's the power of having power. You know, that's the thing about Congress as well. That's the thing about Trump. They get to paint the narrative. History is written based off the victors, right? The victors paint history how it should look. If Nazi Germany won, they would paint history the way they see fit. Say to the victor goes the spoils. YouTube is so iconic, no platform would ever replace it. Not even the next 100 years. Yeah, it's pretty big. Too big to fail. It literally pays like content creators. Like, you can get paid like $50,000, $100,000. Some of these guys get paid like, obviously, millions on millions. And there's so many of those channels, you know, like every month they're paying so many of them, tens of millions. Like, it's insane. It's so hard to wrap your head around like just how big the ecosystem is, because when I'm on stream like this and I'm talking to you guys, I actually assume you know what I'm talking about sometimes when I mention a lot of like random stuff. But YouTube is so big, everybody has their own what do you call it? Like, for me, what looks mainstream is not mainstream to you, because mainstream doesn't exist anymore. Remember back in the days, you could go to school, you could go hang out with your friends on the mall, whatever, talk to your friends, and everything was mainstream. We could all understand like what was currently happening. It was mainstream because the media was not that big, right? So we had a mainstream culture. Nowadays, we don't have a mainstream culture because there's just way too much content. Vic, do you mind writing Joshua made 10 billion by the end of 2026? Yes, Joshua, you're going to make 10 billion by the end of 2026. And don't forget who your friends are when you do that. All right, let's see. Price is right now breaking the highs by 47.25. We're creating ATH again, but there's no setup here. This little accumulation actually looks a bit stretched because there have been multiple candlesticks going up as it's coming towards breaking the highs here by 47.25. Yeah, you got a bit like it's breaking the ATH, so all you want to see is volume really come in from here. It could even just spike up right now. Knowing gold and the situation it's in and how people want to buy, I wouldn't be surprised to see like a spike up like this even. Look at this. You see? You see? Wait, come on. I love reading market psychology because this is just people. This is just people. It's really nice when you see it though. I want to see it just randomly spike up. You randomly spike up this. Yeah, there we go. ATH, people like to buy. When gold is moving like this, it's a lot of people looking to get into price because of maybe FOMO. You might feel a little bit of FOMO. No way Woods is trying to patch the game. Now we know who spam cheats in GTA. X square, L1, R2, R1, triangle, down, up, left, 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 right, right. And back in the days, you got to write those codes down. I don't know how kids do it nowadays. Are there even cheat codes? Are cheat codes even a thing? I don't think cheat codes are a thing anymore. Weren't cheat codes like part of the development team as well? Yeah, cheat codes are not even a thing anymore. You just have like that little piece of paper inside your game box. Like San Andreas, GTA San Andreas had too many cheat codes. Yeah, but you know, GTA, we got GTA before GTA 6 came out. Apparently Rockstar Games gave early access to a kid with cancer. So the kid, you know, is a huge GTA fan, but he wasn't going to make it till GTA. So that kid got to play GTA. So we actually got GTA before GTA. Insane. Insane. But yeah, it's crazy. Kids are just searching videos on free rulebooks. Yeah, this thing's still gonna keep moving up here. As long as you're breaking ATH, that's also a confirmation right over here. But you see, there's no structure. The type of trading you do on a day like this is quite different from the type of trading you do on other days. Because here, there's no structure. This is just a lot of like volume. A lot of follow-throughs coming in. So, yep, people just buying the ATH. ATH. There's been no real setup here because you see from where we got in our trades, price hasn't done anything. It's just been kind of swinging. You see when it's moved like kind of V-shapey? It's kind of swinging. There was one here, but the wicks are pretty long. So it kind of invalidates it. So this is more just random movement. So I think like when you look at markets like in that lens, you kind of understand a bit more how to trade with structure. When there's like a good structure and when it's just moving. You know, it's moving because of profit taking. This is moving because of liquidity grabs down over here, taking out potential buyers, and then to continue following through. But in terms of entry confirmations, you gotta wait. You gotta sit on your hands a bit longer. Do I play Tetris game? What is your highest score? The only Tetris I play here is on the charts. So my highest score last year was 338%. That was my highest score last year. So we gotta play Tetris here on the charts. Any other news this week? Trump is supposed to speak tomorrow. And oh, nice. Forex Factory got updates. You can put alerts now next to the it seems you can put alerts now next to the event. Let's see, alert delivery, header, browser notifications disabled. That's interesting. Let's see, click to allow. It's pretty neat. It's not working. Oh, you can get an email as well. You also get an email. So this seems to be a new feature. Allow for this site. Click to allow. Boom. All right, we're in. So I don't want emails. I'll take browser. I don't know what header is. You can try header. Schedule start 10 minutes warning, 1 hour warning. Wish we could remove this. Oh, wait. Can we? No. All right, schedule start. Okay, awesome. Now I got an alert. So when Trump is going to be speaking tomorrow, I'm going to be alerted over here. 1 hour and 10 minutes before he starts also. Pretty cool. What else do we need alerts for? I think core PCE price index. That's so much later on during the day. Yeah, we don't need that. Let's just see when Trump speaks. Because Trump is due to speak. That's 30 minutes into the New York session. So tomorrow, New York session's most likely going to range. It's most likely going to chop. There's going to be a lot of anticipation before the man comes on. They got core PCO on Thursday. And then we got Friday, PA flash manufacturing. Oh, man. Goldie is running.
Why are you running? Why are you running?
Why are you running, Goldie? Gold breaks through $4,700 on weaker dollar safe haven buying. Beautiful. Silver to 100. Yeah, silver to 100. But can we get to 100 here on the daily? That's the question. Let's see. Take average true ranges on silver. See this candlestick here. We could actually get there. We could get to close towards 100 on silver here on the daily. It is possible. But mostly within by Wednesday, we should see silver at 100 psychological, which is quite an important mark for silver. So by Wednesday, we should be up there. Being a little bit more conservative. But it's definitely within striking distance. You can see silver is on its way up right now. As well, it's like a Goldie. It's at ATH and still pushing up. Pushing with volume. So this is a thing, like days like this, you kind of want to be more looking for the buys, correct? If you really want to play it safe, just get your buy entry confirmations. I call we're getting at least 30% decline after reaching $100. No. There's no way. 30%? I've been in since Sunday. Decline on silver and gold only after all market slowdowns. Yes. Only when we get into a phase, we almost broke into that phase. It happened literally like right over here. We almost broke into that phase. That's why, you know, sometimes I'm very like I'm very conspiracy like when it comes to how volume operates in the market, because this was actually the phase that we're meant to start seeing pullbacks, just based off how you can see markets slowing down, volume is starting to slow down. And then all of a sudden, at this point in time, Trump says something that creates this move upwards. You know what I mean? Like, it could be I don't know if it's coincidence, but I've seen this happen over the years a lot. Like, it just so happens that the market just so happens to look a certain way before something happens. It's like even with the Russia-Ukraine war. Like, I remember when we were streaming back in the days, we're like talking about gold on the monthly time frame. I was like, chat, gold here looks very different than it did look in the past, because as we were going up the monthly, we had these rejections and then rejections and smooth sailing. But this time around, gold had done this. It had come up like this, created a support. It had come up like this. It was planning to do something this time around. That was before Russia-Ukraine war. And I remember I made a video on this and I said, guys, gold is about to break out. Correct? Gold is about to break out. You know what happened? Price, instead of just moving up, ended up doing this. It came down like this. There's a candle like on the monthly like this. And then it skyrocketed up. Now that's when the Russia-Ukraine war started breaking out. At this point. But you know what was interesting was that just the way the structure had looked before that had broken out. Before this had broken out from what it looked like previously. So you gotta see the market, it's ahead of reality. You know, it's ahead of reality because obviously you got insider tradings, but see this? That's the same way. Look at this. Such a big dip below support to rip back up into the range. Just in time for market, just perfectly set case scenario for the market open here to distribute to the upside. You even got a nice little mini accumulation there. It's like orders accumulated properly before the bus left the station. You know, it's like orders accumulated here properly before the bus left the station. It's the same thing like on Billions. I don't know if you ever watched Billions, a TV show, but there's certain episodes where journalists gets a little hint from the hedge fund. You know, they got these journalists they liaise with to create certain plays. And, you know, a little journalist gets a little tip. You know, a little tip, this is how price is going to look towards market close. You know, that's going to be us. And that's when you want to be getting in. Simple. I mean, someone mentioned to me, hey, Vic, watch out for a consolidation on Friday before market close on the 15 or some shit. Like, obviously, you're going to know. You're going to know and see, because these are market movers, right? These are market movers. You know, the world is so big and there's so many things that happen in the world that no one will ever tell you about. And you'll never figure this out yourself unless you're cynical enough to do it. No one is ever going to teach you that unless maybe, you know, you come from a family who does this already. No one is going to teach you that. So you have to be a shark. You have to be a shark. You got to think like a shark. In this world, you're either going to be a sheep or a shark. So if you don't think like a shark, then, you know, then I think at that point, you're not going to allow yourself to see different dimensions of how things can operate. Because the world is not black and white. There are people who live the world thinking it's black and white, that it's so simple. We have laws, we have president, governors, and, you know, things are meant to work in a certain linear way. The world is not linear. It's very diverse and full of secrets. Just gotta know the right people to talk to about those things. Don't talk these things to normal people. Normal people look at you like you're crazy. You just gotta know the right people to talk about these things. That's why it's always a closed circle. There's always a few people you can talk about certain things with, because everybody else is too wrapped up in the matrix to see it. You gotta be very careful. Otherwise, you know what it is? It's like if you've ever done lucid dreaming. Have you ever done lucid dreaming? And in the middle of your lucid dream, I used to do this as well. In the middle of your lucid dream, if you wake up in the middle of the dream and say, oh shit, I'm dreaming. I don't know if you guys have ever experienced this. Have you guys experienced lucid dreaming? Write a 1 in the chat if you've ever lucid dreamed before. So a lucid dream is basically waking up in the middle of the dream. And you can train yourself to do this. I used to do this a lot as a kid, but I don't do it anymore because I just don't want to do it. But you can train yourself to do it. Like, for example, looking at your hand like this every day can make it a habit. right? We can make it a habit. Eventually, you'll end up looking at your hand in the middle of a dream and notice you have 6 fingers. Because in a lucid dream, things operate differently, right? So you go at the end of the day and be like, oh shit, I'm dreaming. So sometimes I'll end up lucid dreaming. I'll wake up in the middle of my dream, start trying to fly in that stuff that you typically try and do in a dream. Touching walls and stuff and seeing like, oh man, this feels so real. Like I would literally like touch walls and be like, man, this actually feels like that cement and the gravel. You could just feel everything so real in the middle of a dream, right? But now the thing is with lucid dreaming, when you start interacting with the people in the lucid dream and you make it seem like they know, you let them know that you're dreaming, the dream world shakes and it crumbles. It's like Inception. If you've ever watched the movie Inception, right? Even in Inception, I think they didn't really liaise too much with the characters when they're inside that dream world, right? Leonardo DiCaprio, Inception, they didn't talk to the people because somehow the dream world will start collapsing, right? It's the same thing as in lucid dream. These things just don't happen by accident. Directors are very smart people. You know, we give credit to a lot of the actors because they're amazing. They do a great job. But directors in movies are incredibly smart people and really in-depth people. So they kind of like put these things together. And the same way with lucid dream. You start talking to people in a lucid dream, the dream world starts to crumble. So it's the same way as when you talk to people in the real world about things which might seem a bit abnormal, that will also start to have that same effect, right? So it's like we are kind of living in a similar simulation or some sort like that. So you have to be very careful about the things you talk to and the people you talk to about those things, because some people will be able to elevate you and some people will only be able to respond to you based off their level of consciousness. Because, you know, we do live in both spiritual and physical realms, right? That's why you can have same people in the same industry. One person is doing amazing and the other person is not doing as great, because maybe one person has figured out the importance of this spirituality in achieving what they need to achieve. And it's not coming from a place of wishful thinking or witchcraft. I don't believe in that stuff like witchcraft and whatnot, but I do believe in vibration. Inception was a brilliant film. Amazing movie. Really, really amazing movie. So you gotta get your vibrational frequencies up. Not on some crystal stones type stuff, or you know what people like to do, but in terms of your thoughts, managing what your thoughts are on a daily basis. What do you think? You know, like how do you go into your day? How do you perceive losses? How do you perceive setbacks in your life? If you perceive them all as some kind of a positive energy, then you know, then you're gonna get more of a response of a positive energy, even when it's a negative situation, to find the positivity in it. Oh, nice. We got some woods. Oh, we got some ones over here. Oh, we got Jane. Jane got 1. Woods 1. Dano. Nice chat. Oh, man. Only so few. 1, 2, 3, 4. Y'all got to try it at least once. At least once you got to try it. Because, you know, that's kind of like opens your brain up a little bit more. Also, looking at the clock, I think, is one of them. Yeah, there's something with the clock, too. And it's also what inspired, I think, or what I believe inspired Starry Nights. If you look at that art painting, Starry Nights, and how the clock is like melting, I think that is a play on lucid dreams too. So when you're trying to, you got to look at your fingers, or it's the clock as well. I know the clock plays some kind of a role. You got to try trading in a lucid dream. That'll be trippy. Hello, in which scenario would you consider a sell? When I see a lot of rejections. So you see, like this morning over here, I try to attempt to sell because price was rejecting a lot. Where is it? Right here. See, like price was struggling. You see, price came up, and then you got like wicks. Look at this wick. You could see it like struggle, right? You see the rejections, candlestick flipped up, then flipped back bearish like this. You can see it struggle. So in a scenario like this, then I would be looking for sells. But in a scenario like this, I would not be looking for sells, right? Because it's a different PA. That's not really showing me struggle. This could just be like a pullback. So I want to be like very careful. Wireless and Wi-Fi proves there are energies unknown to our senses. Yes, it's amazing. Man, some of us don't even know how the internet works, but we just use it. We're like, man, this is awesome. But that shit's like magic. Literally. Fiber optics? Man, why do you like make up fiber optics? I mean, I can send a signal from here to you in less than a second. No matter where you are in the world. How crazy is that? It's like magic. You know what the latency is on a video call over here? 185 milliseconds is the latency here in the Discord. 808, and this is on the high end. Usually it would be like about like, you know, maybe like 50 milliseconds. 50 milliseconds. Insane. 2026 market outlook. Notice how most of them are focused on almost the same sectors. 2026 predictions and focus fields. What is this? Binance, Coinbase. And trading, those milliseconds are the difference between hundreds of millions of dollars. Those milliseconds. So you got the firms always trying to get the fastest execution speeds, fastest speeds in general. And that's why I said this movie called The Hummingbird Project is a really good movie to show you the infrastructure of how the trading world works. There's little milliseconds over here. There's a difference of hundreds of millions of dollars. So whoever gets the information the fastest. Because at that point, you're almost gonna have like you're almost gonna be able to time travel if you're able to get information a lot faster. And some firms try and experiment. I guess they don't experiment, but they do this with Forex Factory events as well. You know, Forex Factory events, you can already preempt some of them, do your due diligence on them, etc. But I think some of them just come out when they come out, and some firms either liaise with these people in Congress or wherever to get maybe hints. But some firms also know, like some of the time, I think they actually have to rely on the speed of which they get the information, right? You know, NFP, we can't trade as retail traders. It moves too quickly. By the time it comes out, oh, the news drops, price would have already moved. But imagine if you had that access to that little window of opportunity, such a tiny, small window of opportunity to get the news before it comes out and then execute your position. Obviously, a human mind wouldn't do this. It's going to be a robot. But that's the kind of intricacies that go into something like the trading world. You know, it's not this whole thing that I guess we're too used to what we see on YouTube most of the time. It's 2D, but the trading world in itself is very dimensional. And I think over the years, the more experience you get, the more you're willing to work on yourself and get better, you naturally become a better trader, you naturally become more matured, and these are things that, you know, you just know, and this information you pick up along the way. Can it help you make money? Not really. Is it good to know? I think it's good for your overall maturity and character development. That's why I made the video yesterday where the girl was talking about, if I could start trading again, I would learn one strategy. But I said, don't just learn one strategy because you become an ICT sheep. Because most people are just going to end up choosing ICT, right? If you just start your day trading life and journey and you just, she said, focus on one strategy, you're shooting yourself in the foot because you're not building character development, you're not building maturity, you're just trying to replicate a strategy, which if it doesn't work for you, you have to go back to square one again. And going back to square one is going to be a very scary thing, especially after doing it for like a year, 2-3 years. Maybe you've not been profitable, but you have to start from square one again because you've never understood really how the markets overall operate because you're focusing too much on just this one strategy. And I agree, all strategies are good if you focus on them solely, but only after the character development, not just straight off the bat. Like even the way I trade, this is a strategy, but it's also aided based off the experience over the years. So I understand the overall market context. And you wouldn't get market context if you're focusing just on strategy. So strategy is good, but without market context, you might as well just have the same hit rate trading trend lines, supply and demand, fair value gaps. It's just all going to be the same experience. So I think building a good foundation is going to be like the most important thing. And this is why a lot of people are not going to tell you. You know, they're gonna give you a 5-minute video and say, hey, do this. It's not as simple as that. You know, you gotta build a foundation. So you see, like, as you're watching this stream, you're understanding more of how we trade. You understand on this stream more of how we look at macroeconomics, how that affects price action, how our entry confirmations are supposed to behave. I think I communicate this very clearly, right? As opposed to what at least I got when I started trading, because that was very much it was not very clearly communicated. So I think the live stream space is an amazing place to share those ideas and values. Then, you know, then you're going to get results. Then you start to see results. You start to see results off the backbone of your character development and not your weakness. Because you can't build character on weakness. You know, you can't build character on weakness. So, you know, you can't start a business on weakness. You can't start a business and say, what's the easiest way to make money? No hard work. You tell ChatGPT, give me 10 ideas on how to make money. No, give me 50. Get rich fast. No hard work. Give me the weekends off as well. Saturday, Sunday. Take your time. In-depth research. Wait, let me see if I actually find that video. The video I watched yesterday was hilarious. It's such a funny video. Yeah, look at this. This like the this is that weak mindset.
How to be rich, very rich overnight. Give me 10 ideas. 50 ideas. Zero investment. No risk. No hard work. Saturday, Sunday off. World tour included. Shark Tank friendly ideas. Best ideas. No hurry. Take your time. Deep research. Go.
Buy or sell. Deep research. Bro, sell DXY? No. Send in a chart. Didn't touch the trade. Let it play out. Because we don't make the same mistakes twice in the same day. Now, do we? No, we don't. No, we do not, sir. Oh, does it actually have that scene? No, it doesn't. It's when, was this Elizabeth? Was it? No, I don't think it was Elizabeth. It was another girl. She was trying to cozy up to Jack Sparrow, and he was like, one time is enough. So he learned his lesson. Yeah, but we don't want to make the same mistakes. Oh wait, this is the wrong one. Damn it. Gotta go back in here. Captain Jack Sparrow. Close this trade early because I got scared on the 5-minute pullback. Okay, 33 pips made on this. This was nice buy. Awesome. WW. Dust said I'm going in for an ice cream after this. Oh, nice. Ice cream Sunday over here. Kind of like a, you know what this was? This is like a shotgun play. You got your trend line there as a confluence. You got a support area right here. Break, clean range down towards support. They get in like candlestick close below support, break of the lows. Fill this range down towards the next support. You see that reaction you even get right at that support. Awesome. USD CAD, since gold wasn't moving, learning from yesterday. Look at the volume starting to come back in Goldie as well. Like slightly over here after the pullback. Still moving up bullish. Just not like real structure. No like real structure on executing on this. On a 0-3 losing streak. What's 0-3 losing streak? Why is Alia balling on us like this, Chad? He's balling on us too hard over here. $84,600. Look at this. Balance 500. Sheesh. Leave some for us. It's balling on me too hard. This makes me feel bad. I made like $400 here. She made 86,000. 86,000 buckaroos. I only made $400. Gotta get my game up. Gotta get my money up. There's a bearish change of character in an FVG. Is that, man? I used to see mentors on an airplane making millions of dollars. Making millions of dollars. I'm like, damn, this guy's making millions of dollars sitting in economy class going somewhere. Like, oh man, I wish I could make $1 million. Be nice. $1 million in a single trade, guys. Some serious things going on there. Never trust those guys showing off like that. Yeah, it's never say never. Out of all of them, surely one is the one. The chosen one. The Jet Li. Surely one is the chosen one. Out of all those copies, one must be true. But now we just gotta wait. We just gotta wait. Can't rush those things, you know. You can't see those things and then start rushing the process. It's not gonna work. Look at this. All right, so candlestick just closed here, but it's a pretty big candle. We're about to get a shotgun entry here as well, as it's coming up towards the resistance. But you see, pulled down in the last 5 seconds. It was essentially what happened over here, where we took our buy. Candlestick skyrocketed up, closed above resistance, break of the previous highs to continue moving up bullish. Right? Essentially, it's the same thing that I was trying to be cooking up right here. But as we came up towards resistance, a small little rejection. Can we 4750 before New York? 4750 before NY. Because now we're about roughly 40 minutes. Isn't it? Like 35 maybe? 35 before NY opens. So no, NY opens, sorry, my bad. Before the next hourly candlestick opens, yeah, 35 minutes. 34 now. So we're looking at 4750, which is around 180 pips. I would say before NY open is very possible. Before New York, because if this candlestick even moves up like this, we could hit it by the end of the next hourly candle. When that one closes, that's gonna be the pre-New York candle, 6 a.m. Eastern. We could be finding ourselves around these heights by 4750 by pre-New York, and that's gonna be 2 hours before the New York session opens. So I think we got a lot of time to get 4750. It's well within reach. We don't have any fundamental work here as well to worry about, so there's no reason why we should consolidate. You know, sometimes the market likes to consolidate before news comes out. that New York Open. So you might see consolidation, but today we don't have news. So I think it's mainly based off this macro volume of what's happening with Trump and Greenland. That price can continue to move up bullish. So that's going to be the most important thing over here. And guys, please like up the stream. Come on. Like up the stream. I would appreciate it. I don't really say it much because I don't like to say it. I prefer if you just do it off your own willingness. But I think we got to kickstart the algorithm again. You know, the algorithm on YouTube is like an old bike. It's a very flawed system. It's like an old motorbike. So, you know, sometimes you got to start it up. Otherwise, it just dies. It's a flawed system. Every year, there's a point where YouTube algorithm screws us creators. Every year. I don't know why it does that. But there's a point in time every year that it happens. That it does something weird. Very flawed system. I don't know what's going on over there on YouTube. I can even show you a glitch in the matrix right now. You guys want to see a glitch? Let me show you a glitch. Let me show you a glitch. Look at this video, yeah? So this video, right? How many views does it say it has? Gotta zoom in here. 301 views. This is 13 years ago. 301 views. Now when you click on the video, how many likes are these? 4.3 million likes. And 301 views. There's a glitch over here. Gotta leave him another like. Maybe it will be 4.4 now. And he's got 4.7 million subscribers. And how many comments? See, glitches in the universe. They exist. You just gotta know where to look. 329,358 comments. But 301 views. YouTube is broken. Something is wrong with YouTube. So I appreciate the likes. What are you gonna do when you hit 100k subs? Nothing. I'm just gonna keep going. What can we do? Oh, look at this. Price is moving up over here again. I think at 100k subs we'll do a island getaway, and we'll go and start our own fire festival in the Caribbean. We'll start a fire festival and we call it TetraFX Festival at 100k. That's what we're gonna do. But until then, we just gotta focus. You gotta stay focused. Learning many concepts has ruined it for me. Sometimes when I enter a buy, I start to see sell confirmations. Yeah, you have over analysis. So you got like analysis paralysis because you're getting too much. You're trying to implement too many things all at one time. But you can't do that because the market, look at amazing bull run right here. It's breaking the ATH. You see how the buyers keep coming in? Look at how the buyers keep coming in. Today's a beautiful day to buy gold. Already got one buy over here. And it's up 1.40% right now. Just straight. You can feel the volume, right, chat? You can feel the pressure. It's not like just any other day. But the only time this makes sense is when you know why it's moving like this. This will not make sense to you if you don't know why it's moving like this. For my whole year, my whole first year trading, I did not really understand these types of movements, right? Because no one would explain them to me. So a day like this would just be kind of like, I would have an idea, but not really like a concrete understanding of this. So I want you to know, whenever we have these macro events moving price action, think of it like just like a wave. You know, a wave pushes by the shores, right? It will just keep pushing. Even if it retraces backwards and it might seem like it's going back and things are getting more calm again, the overall wave is always building and it's crashing back into the shore. So think of these days like one of those types of days in the ocean. You get like big waves and there's a lot of pressure, a lot of volume coming into the ocean, to the shore. And then other days it's like obviously more quiet, correct? Like more quiet, normal. But on this type of days, that's when, you know, like surfers like to go out and surf on those types of days It's the type of days like for us traders, it's a similar feeling to what a surfer would feel going out on that type of day, because they know it's gonna they know it's gonna be a good day. So that's why we're seeing ATH getting broken. That's why we're seeing price moving up. That's why we're seeing this kind of like pushes. Really amazing days to take advantage of. 100 and K, you should play us a little song on your guitar. Hey, Timbo. Timbo's an OG if you remember that. Let's see. When I hit 100K in my personal account, I'm getting Bruce Buffer on Cameo. That would be lit. Yes, thank you. Took a 28 long TP 40 plus. But yeah, you gotta stop learning many concepts, because the market's always gonna give you a reason why your trade should be a losing trade. Even as I'm taking a buy here, imagine all the people trading FEGs as well, continuously trying to sell, continuously selling. But you see, we keep going through those areas. Like, okay, well, what I want to say is there's always a strategy that's going to go opposing your entry. There's always something that someone is going to say, don't do that. Right? So you just have to stick to your system and let it play out. Never let that scare you out. You know what's happening to you now? You're in a phase of mismanagement. It's where a lot of us are typically, when we're learning a lot, we take a buy here, but this guy said it should be a sell, or sometimes we get into a buy. We're confident about the buy, but as price progresses, it kind of scares us out and we mismanage the trade before it goes in our direction. Yeah, so it's a very delicate, you're in a very, very delicate point in your journey, sir. Because I remember that point in my journey was when I lost the most trades. Specifically that point in my journey. That's when I lost the most trades. When I was looking at how to manage my positions, when I was looking at multiple strategies, that point is the worst point that you're going to be in. But once you start breaking out of that, that's now you're getting to a much higher maturity level, right? But you kind of have to go through that point as well, so it builds your character and overall understanding of how different strategies operate, which is also a good thing. It's not always a bad thing. But trust me, it's the same way, like when you start trading, you make good trades in the beginning because you're learning less, you know less. So you're able to execute with clarity and certainty of some sort. It's only after a while you start learning more, you get a bit locked up in all the knowledge you're accumulating, all the information. But it's needed. It's needed. You know, that's why they say you gotta break a few eggs to make an omelet. You need to do that. It's the same way anything ever gets designed in the real world. You know, Apple doesn't have just a MacBook Air off the bat. They had to break and fail so many times, so many different ways, that in the end, they're able to get through that so they can give you what they give you nowadays, which is a very nice experience. You know? So it's just the same way, you know, as Elon Musk sending rockets into the sky. Man, a rocket's not supposed to stop midway. That's the hardest part for a rocket, like getting off and then keep pushing up. But you don't stop midway because it's getting hard. You gotta keep pushing. And while you keep pushing, you end up in space. And when you end up in space, you're losing less energy at that point, you know? You just have to get from Earth to space. You're in the middle where you need to keep pushing. A rocket doesn't stop midway and then says, oh, this is too hard for me, and comes down. It keeps going. So you need to keep going till you get to the space. Then it's like low energy, you know, then you can just kind of like focus on what was working and then start really refining more in a mental clarity. That's a process. That's how it works for a lot of things in life. You got to keep going. It gets really tricky at one point. It gets quite confusing. You have a lot of stuff to manage, and then you get to a point where you can think a bit more clearly. Right? Generally speaking, trading, life, it's all a reflection, like literally everything. So if you're good at managing your personal life, I would say you should be somewhat relatively good at managing or organizing yourself better on the charts. You know, they say like women are a lot better traders than men because first of all, women are meant to be more organized. They are less emotional. They're more taking care of money as well. So if your personal life, if you look around your room and you see your personal life is messy, you know, and you're not getting these little petty chores done and this type of things, it can also reflect negatively, I think, on your charts. Or at least it's the way I like to look at it. Might not be necessarily the case. But I truly believe in a clean environment giving you like, or yielding you a better place to think, for example. And, you know, you just got to look at that. It says a lot about you. I'd be so screwed if my wifey would do the financials. In all my relationships, I never had the money. It was always a girl who had the money. I wanted to counter trend zero change, giving on Nas, just dumping. Oh, that's from that movie, Dumb and Dumber, I think. Yeah, I never had the money. How do I spend my money? The girls, man, growing up, girls always had money. My girl is a chronic saver. If she started trading, she would never withdraw anything. Even nowadays, I still have to be careful with my money because those old habits die hard, you know. So I very much limit the amount of time I spend with friends. Because whenever I spend time with friends, I'm always overspending. Because I like the idea of overspending. So I try and limit the amount of time I spend with friends. It's a trap a lot of people fall into. You got too many friends and too many things to do, you spend a lot of money. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Still creating some structure here. Would be nice if this candlestick was to form like this. Create some kind of a resistance. Come down. And then push up. Like that. Then that'll be an entry confirmation for price to continue to move up bullish. Spending is okay, just don't blast it off. Yeah, I see, that's the thing. Some people are able to control that, but I can't. So the only way I can control it is by going cold turkey. You know, everybody has an addiction to some extent. Everyone's addicted to something. So I think I'm addicted to spending when it comes to that sort of thing. Because to be fair with you, I only meet up with my buddies like, I try and limit that to even, let's say, once a month. No cap. Once a month. So if I'm going to see you once a month, we're gonna have a good time. You know what I mean? So that's the way I look at it. Then I have to go cold turkey again. Because I'm a person with a very, like when I do something, I do it with very much energy. You know? So I put a lot into what I do. And you have to see where it makes the most sense. Because the older you get, the more you realize, you know, there's certain things which you know, you can put your energy towards a little bit more efficiently. Rather than going out all the time, partying, drinking, etc., showing off, blah, blah, blah. You could be using that energy a lot more efficiently. So you don't get caught in that same rat race. You know, you should always have your family close to you for the most part. And, you know, a handful of friends. I can count all my friends on one hand. I don't invite others usually, and they know that. Let's see, I treat my family and me a lot good. Yeah, exactly. Because, you know, the older you get, you're supposed to be also finding new friends. You shouldn't be all the time lamenting about, you know, your previous friendships and your previous life. Don't do that. I know some of you are doing that in the chat currently. Lamenting about how certain things were so good at some point. You're supposed to grow. If you still had the same friends you had when you were much younger, that might be a sign that you're not growing as well. Because I'm going to tell you, like, a bunch of people that I knew back in the day, they're not growing. And this is the same experience for a lot of you. They're not growing. So it can even be a bad sign that you're still having the same friendships, you know? So you got to be very, very careful that you don't waste time. Don't waste time. Lock in. Focus on what needs to be focused on. Trust me, you're not going to regret it because the information is there. Nowadays, information is all over the place. You know, there's no excuse. There's no more excuses. Down 47.50 today. Yeah, this looks like a pretty nice buy over here. By 47.36. I'm gonna see if it plays out. Starts breaking above the highs here, and then see if price can continue to move up bullish. There's no more excuses. Like every time you meet a friend, because I keep it to once a month, and every time I meet a friend, there's something new with me. There's always going to be something new, some new upgrade, or something has changed, you know. Something has changed. It's not going to be just the same thing, and that's what you want. Those are the type of friendships you want. You go here and say, oh man, this guy's doing this better. Oh man, this guy's trying to do this better. You know, you want to be elevated every single time, elevated. But it doesn't happen overnight. So, you know, you got to spend that whole month finding ways to elevate yourself. And then meet up with your buddies and say, you know, how's it going? That's a thing I think you're going to realize the older you get. Yeah, as we grow as a man, I think search for a new partner, business, new mentor, etc. Saving 5 Starbucks is a damn nice steak. I've never had a Starbucks before. I've seen Starbucks, but I never had it. It always seemed to me so absurd to pay so much money for like a Starbucks. People who like coffee don't even drink Starbucks coffee, you know? So Starbucks is like overly priced for teenagers. It's for the group of people who like bubble tea, you know, girls who like bubble tea. Oh, let's go have some bubble tea. That's kind of like, that's how I look at Starbucks. You pay like what? You pay like $15 for this concoction over here, like 10 bucks, 10 15 bucks for this thing. And you know what's messed up? This is some marketing, you know. We put some ice in that. If we put a lot of ice in there, make it seem big. Apparently there's some studies which show if you go to these fast food places, you can have a regular cup and a large cup, and if you pour the regular into the large, it's like it's basically like the same. So it's like marketing ploys. So the bigger cup, it looks like it's more, but I don't know. There's a video I watched where there's a way they can do it with like marketing to make it seem like it's a lot more than it is. Yeah, I never tried a Starbucks before. Always seemed a bit weird. Yeah, like, you know, stuff like this. I always find a way to kind of make it more. Maybe like to put more ice in it or something of the sort. All right, so this thing is still setting up here. It looks like it would be pretty nice if it creates like a support like that and then starts to break again, because it is creating us some more structure over here. Yeah, maybe I'm just a hater. Bigger cup, more ice, but the water level is the same. I was explaining to Lemon the other day about Starbucks and how much he could save or use elsewhere if he just had a normal coffee. Yeah, people, they don't know that it's not normal. It's not normal to eat out every day. Like when I was working a 9 to 5, I used to eat out every day. You know, it'd be normal to go and like buy food from like wherever it is. Like eating out was more normal, but it's not normal, especially if you're working a 9 to 5. You really should limit the amount of money you're spending on like eating out and like stuff like Starbucks, because you know those are all just comfort food. it's just like kind of comfort food because, you know, you got to deal with people all day, or maybe, you know, like you're in this kind of like rat race. So sometimes you need that little bit of a stimulation, which makes you feel like you're getting a reward. But it's not normal to eat out and drink Starbucks every day. Like that adds up, especially if you're working a 9 to 5. Man, people who run businesses and entrepreneurs driving in Maybachs don't freaking go to Starbucks. They don't do that stuff, even if they have the money, because it's not normal to do that. It's more normal for you to have like a proper breakfast and like actually have decent food that you're eating throughout the day to keep yourself energized. You know, there's a rat race that people get caught in. You know, fast food chains and all these things, they kind of supplement that to a lot of people to make them kind of happy, keep the masses happy with that kind of stuff, you know. That's what it does. But you should eat good. You should always eat healthy despite your circumstances. You know, it doesn't cost money. It's not expensive. It's less expensive to eat healthy than it is to do that. Like, it's absurd to me. Like, the average American household, the shit that is in their fridge, I've never seen that in my life. Like, the amount of stuff they buy. Sometimes they buy like gallons of soda, cereal boxes for days, just a bunch of random stuff. It's insane. Like the obesity problem and stuff. It's a coping mechanism. That's what it is. You know, good. That's how I always say, a good cure for depression is exercise, and a good cure for anxiety is eating good. This thing's setting up over here. It's about to break. I think by the time it breaks 47.36, we should see this thing skyrocket a bit more. Do you cook yourself every day? No. I cook once a week. I cook once a week for the whole week. Like, and it's very, very easy. Like once you get a routine in place, like a pattern, it's super easy. And I also use like a pressure cooker, so it's a lot easier. You throw in like chicken or beef, whatever you want, in the pressure cooker, and there you go. You have your meat. You freeze half of it. You have half of it fresh. Then, you know, carbs is quite easy. You got rice, you got pasta. You can make that fresh. Doesn't even take a lot of time throughout the day. And also sauces. Then you just got like 2 sauces. You know, whatever you're eating, just make like 2 sauces. It's not rocket science to make a sauce. It's very simple. Simple ingredients done right, it will give you an amazing dish. A consistent dish, you never get tired of it. Look at this, it's breaking now. Volume's coming in. You never get tired of it. You can just eat it. I never get tired of the food that I eat because it's simple. It's simple but tastes good. So you never get tired of it. You know, it's like clean eating. And I prefer doing it myself because I'm a bit OCD about certain things. So I like cooking myself. I don't want to get a maid. I don't like maid cooking. I used to have maids. I don't like maid cooking. You know, if anyone's going to cook for me, it's maybe my mom. But other than that, I'm going to cook myself. It's really not that difficult. Unless maybe you get really busy throughout your day, then you can get like a proper chef. But it's really not necessary. Unless you're super busy, right? I tell you, like, success is all about patterns. It's not about figuring anything out. Literally, like, just find a way throughout your whole week. You can have a pattern that can yield you a certain result. And always, week by week, find ways to make that pattern more efficient, less stressful, and understand you're never going to please everybody. So forget the idea of pleasing everybody in your day-to-day life patterns. Because one day your wife is going to be pissed. The next day your client's going to be pissed. The next day somebody's going to be pissed. Someone might not get the attention, but you have to already know this and then structure your day as efficiently as possible. Because I know different lifestyles are going to result like different needs. You know, some of you have kids, some of you have families, more commitments and that sort of thing. You're never going to please everybody. Someone every day is going to be left behind. But the idea is not to please everybody. It's to be as efficient as possible what you're doing. So like with trading, even when I was learning how to trade with a lot of commitments, I would still at least give myself some time throughout the day when this is strictly time for trading, journaling, looking at chart work. And every time I have like free time, I'm also going to sneak in some chart work as well. But you make sure throughout the day, wherever that time is going to be, I used to do it early in the morning when everybody was still sleeping. So when my partner was still sleeping, I was on the charts. I was trading the pre-London session. The time my partner's waking up, I've already clocked in like 2 hours chart time. By the time she's waking up, things gonna get a bit more chaotic, because now, at that point the day's kind of starting over there. So I've clocked in 2 hours. Amazing. Focus on something else now. Then you wouldn't feel the need as well as FOMO. Like FOMO wouldn't be a problem too. Wait, sorry, my bad. So this thing is pulling down. It spiked. Wow, only 11 points, and it pulled down here. All right, so not such a bad pullback, but we want to see this thing keep skyrocketing up bullish. Let me pull back maybe about like 14, 15 pips. Let's see, but what time is it? Oh, it's 4:52. We're about to get the new hourly candle open as well. Price is up 1.40%. Oh, this is getting very tiresome here, because it didn't give a clean follow through, so it might be a bit risky. Didn't give a clean follow through. It's struggling. Should have just gone up like that. I like the illegal ones, tall trader. We all have different drugs. I stick with legal ones strictly. On the Chinese Amazon, I ordered 100 sachets of coffee for the same price, like 3 Starbucks, if I remember correctly. I don't really like coffee, but apparently coffee, contributed to the Enlightenment era over there. So when people, I think this was happening a lot in the UK, if I'm not mistaken, like people were getting, it's called what? The Enlightenment. And the reason why we have a lot of advancements was because of coffee, apparently. It kept people up awake and people worked a lot longer hours. But I don't like it. It makes you crash. Makes me crash. So we have a new pair now. The momentum seemed weak. Yeah, it's weak. That's why I mentioned here that this is already giving signs of potential fault, like a faulty. It's like a faulty signal when it's struggling like this, because it should, you see, when we took our trade here, for example, you see how I just went straight. Even if it comes down like this once, that's okay. But then as long as it can keep moving up, as long as it doesn't hang around this general vicinity for too long. Correct? You don't want to hang around this general vicinity for too long, because typically that's the type of result that you get, like these kind of pullbacks and kind of like lethargic PA. And we also got 5 minutes before the new hourly candlestick there opens up. Coffee doesn't give me energy, but it makes me zero in on what I need to do. Coffee gets people through university. I think what helped me get through university was sometimes Ritalin. So I get Ritalin because I would be the guy to push everything till the last minute. When it comes time to get assignments done, I'll push it till the last minute. And then I'll just get Ritalin and then do an all-nighter. All-nighter, get the work done. Because school is quite easy. Because it's all you got to do is just, it's literally, school is the idea behind school is so you can prove to your employer in the future that you've been to a place for maybe 4 or 5 years and consistently you got the job done, so there's a semi-decent chance that you won't fuck his business up. That's what a degree shows to an employer. So when it comes to school, if you're good at due diligence, a bit of research and just general understanding, it's easier to get through. But maybe if you do med school, it's a different story, correct? But I'm talking about stuff like social sciences. I'm talking about stuff like maybe even a business degree. If you do business, maybe you're gonna have a similar experience. But especially in social sciences, you can get away with super easy. Super easy. It's pretty straightforward. School. It's a business. It's not meant to be difficult for you. School is also a business. People pay a lot of school fees, tuition fees. They want your children to have the degree. They want to have in their accolades, oh, you know, we have this amount of students that they went off and they succeeded and stuff like that. They want to have that for you. So when I look at like the schooling system, I look at it like more of a business. Symbols shall be S-Buck. Just character development for your children. But you got to do the real teaching. The real teaching happens at home. How does your child see you get ready for work? How does your child see you tackle problems? How does child see you take care of your health? How does child see you dress? That's where the real education is. How does child see you communicate with other people in the real world? Friendly with other people, you're giving people money, you're supporting people. That's where the real education works. The kid comes to you with a problem, how do you react to that? Do you just give him the solutions or do you make him work for it a bit more? Gbpjpy spinning bars, not just the charts, but life. Yes, sir. Man, I've always grown up teaching also people around me the same respect. I like this quote as well that says, I treat the janitor with the same respect I would treat the CEO. You know, because that shows character. You're not going to learn that in school. There's certain things which are really important in life. Because, you know, school doesn't teach you to be a leader. It teaches you to be a sheep. It gives you assignments and tells you to finish these assignments at a specific time like everybody else. Right? Leadership only comes as something that you can take control over yourself. That's why when you're in a school environment, there's always that one guy who steps in and says, all right, I can do the presentation, or I can do this, I can go in first, I could do this first. I was like one person who usually takes on those higher responsibilities. Most people just kind of want to go through it, you know? And that is intrinsic. It's intrinsic to your nature and what you're trying to accomplish. So yeah, anyway. Sometimes in school, some people thought I was a workaholic. For example, I would have like some buddies in class, and people would just think I was a bit of a workaholic. But it's because I like getting shit done, you know. Like if I can do it myself and I'm gonna move faster doing it myself, I'd rather just do it myself. Because, you know, school also wastes a lot of time. Schools are like failed businesses in a sense as well. You know, businesses which like talking a lot. Before the day even starts, they're having a whole conversation of, oh, this and that. Like, they waste a lot of time. Whereas that time could be spent you actually doing something. Because I used to work 9-to-5 jobs where, like, literally you would spend a lot of time just sitting there. And then sometimes it would be quiet, waiting for the next guy to say something. And it's so freaking draining. And I know you guys also experienced that before. It's so freaking draining. And it's like you can't even say anything because you're afraid to hurt people's feelings in a sense sometimes, you know what I mean? Or to be standing out because you're not allowed to stand out. You know what I mean? So whenever I see something, I like, man, I can do this fast. You're not going to like me, but I can get the job done. I'm not here to be liked. So in life, you got to choose what path you want to take as well. If you're in a workplace and you want all your colleagues to like you, then that's it. That's it. You can't be a shark. Because a shark, he demands respect from the results he brings to the table. A shark doesn't demand respect by being the nicest guy. Being a nice guy doesn't get you anywhere, especially in the markets. A market is here every day to take your money. When I come onto the chart, the market wants to take my money. So I got to figure out, how can I beat the shark? I got to become a shark to beat the shark. Correct? So the best way we do this is by not giving this shark a lot of opportunities to beat us. Because the longer we're fighting with this shark, the more chance we're going to lose. You know, if you ever watch these fighting movies, sometimes they're going up against a really difficult fight. And the idea is to win the fight fast. Because they know, because they're a smaller guy, you're not going to last in the cage very long. So the idea is, how can you win that fight fast? That's what trading is. You're going up against a big guy, and you got to figure out how you're going to take this big guy down. You can't be in the ring for too long. You got to be very careful with the moves that you make. If you ever played WWE, remember WWE back in the day? Rey Mysterio was the smallest guy in WWE, but he was so flexible and he could do so much. If you put Rey Mysterio in a ring with the Big Show, you know how that fight is gonna go. It's almost impossible, but you can still win the fight if you use him correctly. I'm like you, Vic. I find it more efficient when I do it myself. Yeah, exactly. Pretty nice. Pretty good. That's why, trading is a perfect career for you. Perfect career for you introverts and you people like doing things yourself and doing things yourself fast and efficient. Trading is a perfect thing for you. Because you're not going to wait around and, wait around for certain things, but you're actually going to be doing the work in the background. All right, let's see. There's a little bit of a fakey happening right over here. Dun dun. Yeah, it's like a nice little fakey. I still think like it's probably a timing thing with this breakup above the highs. Because right now we just got the new hourly candlestick open up. New hourly candlestick just open up. I think it created a bottom wick over there. Bottom wick, boom, boom. And now it needs to re-break the highs. Keep moving up bullish. What I would like to see for pre-NY in about like an hour's time is a retracement down and then for price to create structure, because now we're gonna have a range. You see right now it still looks like it's kind of weak. It's created a left shoulder head, potential right shoulder. It may be coming down to fill this range. So what would be nice to see price come down, create some structure, and then move up again. So I think that's what I would love to see. You see right now it's trying to attempt a liquidity grab, but you're towards the tail end of these positions because we've been here since the Asia session. We've been here since the London Open. Coming in now, it's kind of towards the tail end, but you can still see the market is trying to keep pushing upwards, but it's definitely like coming towards a tail end where we would actually appreciate to see more of a sell-off. I think we just had like a small shotgun entry here that just peaked about maybe like 30 pips, close to 30 pips. Candlestick closed below support. Next candle broke the lows, then continue to come down as it's trying to still fill this range. Yeah, let's see. Got 1585. Nice one, Woods. Alright, our king backs down to no one. That's why I held your rates, you fat motherfucker. J Powell. Look at this. All rates on me. That's actually pretty brilliant. All rates on me. Look at Jerome Powell over here. All eyes on me. This is Tupac, I think, kind of like J Powell. Man, I'm gonna miss Powell, Uncle Pow. No rate cuts. Well, we were not really expecting a rate cut from you in the beginning of the year. It's kind of outside of your usual patterns, Mr. Powell. Unless, Mr. Trump squeezed you to do it. But it's a good thing that, he didn't back down. He didn't back down to pressure. He stood up to the bully. Jerome Powell is the only guy who's standing up to the bully. The most, Trump is the most gangster guy on this planet right now. And Jerome Powell is the only guy who stood up to the bully. Can we have a round of applause for Jerome Powell? He's the only one who stood up to the bully. Powell is a hero. Look at him. Look at how cute he is over here.
Looking at the construction, and
Look at how cute he is standing up to the bully. You know, Trump is such a bully, man. Such a bully. Just leave Powell alone. Powell's done nothing wrong. He's literally done his job. If you ask me, I think Powell has done his job amazingly. And he's done what he needs to do. You got Trump over here kind of bullying this guy. This is when he told him the renovations. Look at them.
Yeah, I haven't heard that from anybody.
Wait, let me put up the volume here, chat.
it just came
Yeah,
now one up a little bit, and
figure out why.
yeah. So we're taking a look, and it looks like it's about 3.1 billion. It went up a little bit, or a lot. So the 2.7 is now 3.1.
I'm not aware of that.
Yeah, it just came out.
Yeah, I haven't heard that from anybody at the Fed.
Yeah, it just came out.
Dude, Trump is so he's so suffocating, man.
3.1.
3.2. This came from us.
Yes. I don't know who does that.
Trump's so suffocating.
You're including the Martin renovation. You just added.
Our entire capital.
Yeah, you just added in a third building. Is what that is. That's a third building,
Well,
including
no,
the
but
Martin building.
it's a building that's being built.
No, it was built 5 years ago. We finished Martin 5 years ago.
It's part of the overall work.
But it's
So,
not new.
So we're going to take a look. We're going to see what's happening, and it's got a long way. Do you expect any more additional cost overruns?
Don't expect them. We're ready for them, but we have a little bit of a reserve that we may use, but no, we don't. We expect to be finished in 2027. We're well along, as you can see.
Oh, poor Powell. See, what was this? Justice for Powell. We got Jim Cramer here. Jim Cramer says, get ready for a bad market open. Wow, look at that. This is a terrifying situation to be in right here. It's like one of those vending machines where the M&Ms get stuck, but instead of M&Ms, you got plates. Your family plates, most likely even. The ones passed down generations. In a situation like this, what do you do? What do you do to mitigate such a risk? You don't have the cards right now. Trump would say, you're in a very bad position. You don't have cards. You're not holding the cards right now. Bulls, inflation, tariffs, geopolitical uncertainty, and cocaine addiction. Yes, that's true. Except cocaine addiction, that's just for the degenerates, which there are plenty of those in our industry. Meta spent 73 billion on this. Let that sink in. Oh yeah, that was such a fail. All right. We should be back. Holy! Look at how the views just dropped. Damn, Daniel. Damn, Daniel. Yeah, but I know how annoying that must be. One thing that really drives my gears is bad internet. When the YouTube video has to load, or like when an ad comes on. Are we back? Right in the chat, we should be back. Oh, somebody removed a like. Oh no, I lost a like. Someone said, Vic, you don't deserve this like. Thank you, thank you. All right, yeah, we should be good. Should be good. We're back. Nice. Hey, Discord, are we back? All right, nice. Yeah, so this is a point in time when price is actually supposed to be doing some retracements. We're supposed to be pulling back and creating opportunities for later. So we just have this range here. Boom. We're supposed to be creating opportunities for later. So we want to see price pull down, fill this up, and then set up to get some more buys in. So we might be seeing some more further sells. We also got like a small little kiss of death situation here with that 8 SMA right on top of the candlestick as it's attempting to come down. Re-breaking the lows. And there's a range here of about 76 pips for price to keep coming down. Do you need Flash or Quicksilver to save those plates? Speedsters are the most overpowered superheroes. You know, a speedster is essentially supposed to be unbeatable, but you see the way comics and stuff, right, and movies do it, they have to do it in a way whereby they have some kind of weird weakness, which usually involves the bad guy somehow catching them. But a speedster is supposed to be like the most OP power you can have. Like if you look at Quicksilver, Quicksilver is the guy from X-Men, right? Like he literally freezes time. Like when the building was exploding and he just walks in and saves everybody, this dude literally like freezes time, right? And then you got like the Flash. I think the Flash is a bit different because like he runs like really fast, but he doesn't necessarily like freeze time completely. But man, speedsters are OP. Like, man, Flash is pretty strong. Some movies, I don't know, like Superman's also a speedster. Superman in general should be unbeatable. But you see, at least Superman's story, he has kryptonite. So kryptonite has something that can make him weak. Correct? You got speed stars like the guy from what's that show called? I forgot what's that name of the series. Where that's Diabolical? The guy who says Diabolical. Well, what's that series? Oh yeah, The Boys. The Boys. You see the speedster in The Boys, his also makes sense because he needs to eat. If he doesn't get enough calories, then he can't run. So that story makes sense, right? Some of these other speedsters, they're just too OP. Like in the Flash, Quicksilver, they're way too OP. They don't have anything to hold them back. If you're fast, you could essentially destroy everything. You could destroy everything. Even Homer over here, what's his name? I forgot this guy's name. You know, like you cannot beat a speedster. He literally freezes time. So you gotta see, a lot of these movies get that wrong. They can't get the speedsters right. Unless they give him a problem like calories, where he's gotta eat calories. Starlight. Powell got balls of steel. Did you take any trades with the trend? Yes, I did take a buy during the London Open. This guy had the most useless power. This aqua guy. Just talk to fish. Well, the faster you move, the slower time is perceived. So in some degree, all speeders slow down time. The faster the speedster, the slower the time. Yeah, you can actually see that phenomenon if you look up into the sky and watch a plane fly over. It looks like because of the distance, it looks like it's moving so slow, but in reality, it's actually moving really fast. The boys helped me with exposure therapy to gore when I had PTSD from the house fire. Yeah, it's pretty W series. All right, so let's see. 5 minute. It needs to break these lows. It's got to break these lows. See how it closed below that support, but it didn't break the lows yet. Whereas in this scenario, oh, that's actually nice. That's a nice reaction. Typically, like when you're waiting, but it's only got like 9 seconds before the candlestick closes. But typically, when you're waiting for a move, like it would be really nice if this candle still had more time. Because when it acts volatile like this and it rejects, a strong move typically comes out of scenario like this. So if, let's say we still had time on this and it was rejecting, you see like a liquidity spike. By the time it's breaking these lows, you'll be expecting like a strong push. Because we created a support, it's rejecting this next support area. It's like breaking a retest. You see? Break and retest, rejection, re-break of the lows to keep moving down bearish. It'll be really nice. But typically we should just see if this candle broke the lows to come down just the same way it happened here. The candlestick came down, broke the lows, kept pushing down about like 30 points, so 28, 30, 28, 30 pips on this one. And now it's like it has sellers. The reason why it's acting like this is because there's sellers in the market still, right over here. And we already learned, usually when price starts to give you a hard time, you know, much like how the breakout here started giving much of a hard time, this is typically what you see. Reversals. So you take a sell here, you expect, okay, you know, I want to take a sell. Price has been moving up the whole day. Maybe some people are going to trade like this. Put my stop loss up here. And the moment it starts to do this, this should be like a red flag. You know, so this is a time where you got to look and see how can you manage your risk? How can you reduce your risk? If you trade 46 pips, maybe reduce your risk. So losing 46 pips, you still think price is going to go down like 24 pips. You know, because that's not a good sign like this. So ideally, you want to see some kind of a candlesticks to quickly start to move down. Maybe this one flips, re-breaks, and then continues to push down like that to fill this range. Correct? Because you're still trading against the overall trend, which is bullish. So you don't have the cards. If you catch this sell, then I think this is going to be one of the good sells that you can catch. But predominantly, price has just been moving up, creating higher high, higher high, higher high. All right, so I think if you see it struggle here, and then start giving more confirmations towards the downside, that would be a better scenario that price maybe can continue to move down. I mean, it's 520 right now. During this 5:20 a.m. candlestick, I'm not necessarily expecting price to continue with this bullish momentum. I would be more expecting that pullback, to be fair. Because it's already paid us, chat. Like, price is already up like 1.30%. It's been paying people all day since that Asia open. It's only a matter of time that it's going to tumble and roll over. And this is as good a time as any to actually do that. So we can set us up for at least a pre-New York session buy where it can fill this range and then come down to move bullish. It's like rejecting, it's struggling. You just go, guys gotta like paper trade, you know, just gotta watch it. That's all you gotta do. Get comfortable with paper trades. The spark escalating tension, Donald Trump tariffs. Get super good at paper trading, get super good at maintaining your composure, and you get rewarded for it. It's actually a trick that when you first start learning about paper trades, what a paper trade is, it's supposed to give you the ability to watch trades play out without you taking them. So it puts control back in your pocket. If you can somehow place yourself in a position that you would take the trade, but not actually take the trade. Because I know sometimes people can't even do that. They can't paper trade without taking the trade because the trade starts to look really enticing to a point where they need to take it, correct? Then you end up executing on it. So that's the idea behind paper trades as well. Really, really important skill to learn. Man, I would say my patience actually started with paper trades. That's when I truly understood what patience was. Because I can't imagine for a trader what traders do if they don't know about paper trades. I don't know if it's a natural progression to know what a paper trade is. Because I learned it very earlier on. So I don't know what, when people say, when I say be patient, I don't know like what a trader would be doing on the charts when they listen to that. Be patient. What are you doing when you're just watching? Are you just waiting? Are you just waiting for candles to print like somehow? Or are you actually playing out scenarios in your head? You know, so this is a skill that I think I learned pretty early on. So I don't know if it's a normal thing. What do you do in the chat? What do you do in the chat when you're waiting for trades? It might be a normal thing. I don't know. But I feel like when people hear patience and how to be patient, people ask me all the time, like, how can I be patient? I assume they're not paper trading. I assume they're just sitting and waiting for something. It's all about staying relatable. It's very hard to stay relatable when you progress in terms of like your understanding of markets. It's very hard to stay relatable because I'm going into my 6th year of trading. You understand? So that's what I try to do my best to stay relatable. Not in an arrogant way, but just in it's normal to always elevate and then forget the things that don't serve you anymore. I just see some on YouTube work on my indicator. That is making me go crazy. I can make it see it like me. Oh yeah, that's gonna be very difficult. Because, you know, you got your own sort of like, it's very difficult. That's why robots indicators, they can never replace a human. I waffle on Discord or on stream when I'm waiting. What happens on stream? There's no stream. Or plan world domination. Alright, you learn to be patient after you've lost enough money to learn the lesson. You just sit on your hands. I think people just sit on their hands. They wait for the fair value gap to get filled. Yeah, that's what they do. Yeah, exactly. I found you. I found you guys now. Some of you at least. That's what you do. I have understood now. That's what I used to do as well. Okay, makes sense. If you have a fair value gap or a retracement, that's what I used to do. Nothing. Nothing. I would do this, Fibonacci, boom, boom. And then do this and just wait. Now I remember. Okay. So this is what you're doing. You're waiting for fair value gap to get tapped into because in your head, all the hard work is done. Now you just gotta wait. Which is true. Which is true. But you see, the way we trade, we gotta look at what's happening currently so we can see if there's a special thing and there's a way that price is behaving at this moment to allow us to take a trade. Not based off of what we think is going to happen, because I don't have a time machine. You know, price might come here, might have the reaction, awesome. But I don't know what candles are going to be thinking by the time they're coming down over here. You know, most of the time I see these ranges here get filled. Price go through those levels down towards the support zones like 47.22. I don't know, so I focus more on like what's the current PA telling us that price can do next. I do better paper trades than lives. I used to play Nintendo Switch, but I found that if the game is too good, I forget to trade. I need to get the PlayStation But I don't have a PlayStation. That's the thing. But I thought the idea of that PlayStation Switch. I don't know what it's called. It's like a Switch, but PlayStation. You can remote play your PlayStation. Looks pretty cool. But yeah, it's like where you get the time, you know, like huge distraction, especially when you're trading. I just yeah, it's a pretty big distraction. Sometimes you're gonna miss moves when you're watching videos too. The worst part is the biggest distraction, however, that I faced was not the watching videos. It was whenever you're gonna have a multiple charts. So I don't think I'm on that plan, but you can have several charts and several pairs that you're all looking at one time, yeah? That is the best way to miss trades. When you focus on too many instruments all at the same time. Best way to miss trades. See, now breaking below support here. This thing is a perfect time to come down, guys. So I would say like give it like 30 more minutes. Let price come down. It should set up. It should fill this range. And then set up the move. They get a better idea of the direction. Because we're in a pullback time right now. It can't keep moving up. We thought maybe like this would be the last try right here. And it did give one last setup. But you see, even that failed. It pushed up and then it struggled and then it came down. Makes more sense for it to come down. Retest this zone. I imagine the bulls are kind of out here too. You know, the markets kind of operate the same way where, you know, people are going to go for lunch and you got to set up again. We're going to go for lunch. Going to set up again during a time of high volume. PlayStation Portal? Yes, that's the one. PlayStation Portal. Come on down, Goldie. I'm down towards the support now. $76 Ranger. Just came home from school. Check my trade. 1% profit. Nice one, Eisen. Yep, the range has been filled finally. It started from all the way up over here though. Started from all the way up over here. Had a little bit of choppiness, but it's been attempting to fill this. Down to 47.22. See, because you can see the rejections, right? You can see how it's like breaking, retesting this zone or we spoke about. Price broke, retested, rejected, got that nice little 8 SMA confluence, break of the lows. And I like the break of these lows here because the wicks are kind of more evened out. You see how more evened out the wicks are? So it for me usually looks more of like there's some kind of a liquidity there. And you got them rejections and you got that 8 SMA holding price down. So once price started breaking these lows, that was a entry confirmation to fill this range down towards 47.22. See, we got accumulation break in there too. Yeah, we do. We even have an accumulation breakout. Look at that. Entry confirmation, the break of the lows right over here to come down to fill the range. And look at this. It's just completely melting. It's just completely melting here. It's using it as a magnet. See, the zones, man, look at it. Magnet. When we took buys over here, we had no zones on the left-hand side because we're buying. see this. Are we live on Discord? Yeah, I'm back. I'm trying to... Let's see if I can get the bit rates back. Okay. Well, that could work. All right, we should be back. I'm trying it with a backup internet. I don't know why my internet's lagging so much today. What am I doing? Boom. Boom, 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 boom. Dun, dun, dun. Alright, yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna be doing. Hey, can we get 8,000? Can we do 8,000? Oh, nice. 8Ks. Oh, no, that's dropping. It cannot do 8,000. They gotta stick with 3. I'm losing you, stream. I'm losing you. Come on, get back to life. Back to life. Alright, we should be good now. What the hell is wrong with these internet providers, man? I swear, like, why is it so hard to have stable internet? I don't get it. Alright, we got the backup here. Alright. So we're going to be ready for this drawdown in the future again. The weird thing is today before stream, I actually was thinking about how nice it's been that the internet's been very stable. And the moment I have that thought is the day that the stream has the internet cut. Insane. Man, the universe has a real sense of humor. Kind of like jinx it. But you see anyway, like price here on the 1 minute time frame did end up filling up the range beautifully. As you can see, broke low TFX entry confirmation straight down towards that support level. Straight down towards that support level, and we get beautiful reaction off of it. So that's kind of that's exactly what we, or rather like, you know, I wanted to see over here. Price to come down. Give us that sort of retracement down, and then get ready for potential move back upwards. But we'll see. 541. The idea is that we should still respect this zone here by 47.22. If we can respect 47.22, that would be nice. Price created us a clean range to come up as well towards resistance by 47.32. So we should stay here. If we start breaking below there, we might see some further sell side. Because on the higher time frame, like the 30, you still got clean range down towards that support. At least, you know. So you may see further sell side, but we gotta see us respect this high, because we also got that 30-minute SMA holding up price quite nice. Let's see, hourly. Don't really got anything on the hourly. 5 minutes holding up right now as well. What do we top at? Actually, 47.37 with target set at a potential 47.50 is quite a stretch, but we could make it up there. Could make it up there. It looks like we're starting to break into a much larger range. In fact, since that London Open over here, it got resistance by this point, and this is the next playground, right? This is about 164 pips that we have. So you might see it start ranging from this point. So since we're down at support, we would like to see a respect and then go back up. And then as it's coming back up, you're going to see this candlesticks look a little bit more like we're starting to range. Correct? And all that volume is just getting built up over here for potential. Man, if we do this, if we come back up towards these highs, we should be seeing a really nice push at that point. Remember, today we don't have like bank holiday or anything of the sort. So it should be, generally speaking, a pretty nice day. Pretty decent day for pushes. It's Tuesday, you know, we have a whole week ahead of us as well. And I still think there's a further upside to be seen. Up like 1.19% right now. We want to start seeing some rejections from these lows, potentially to push up. It's on a FVG. Yeah, it's the bottom of the range. All right. Yeah, it's bottom of the range. Would also be quite good for us to see a little bit more of like bullish candle closes. Maybe something like this. Candlestick close up bullish. Come down, create like some kind of a resistance. And then, you know, kind of play around this area. And we're going to see it on the higher time frame as, or lower time frame as a consolidation. Maybe we get like a fake out below that level. And then for price to come up and then re-break such as this. That would be the most ideal situation. But if there's a lot of volume, sometimes we tend to see just have these V-shape formations. So price will just come down and then just go up again quite fast. But yeah, we're heading towards pre-New York. So we should be seeing some volumes. Volumes should be kicking back in again soon. My internet back. Silver is setting up. This is exactly what I mean. Like what is happening on silver right now. It'd be really nice to see that happen on Goldie too. This is silver PA. Silver PA must be at the bottom of the range as well. Yeah, it is. So silver just like actually mopped up this section right over here. Down towards around 94,900 or 94.90. 94.95-ish area over here. So silver's come down. It's setting up. It's still in a bullish environment as well. It's up currently 5.52% on the daily time frame here on silver. But I think it's also up that much because there's a gap. So on this broke, it seems like there is a gap over here. So candlestick should have actually opened down by this zone. So up being up like 5%. This is how the candle should actually look like. See this other chart here. MCX. Yeah, they all pretty much look jumbled up. But silver looks like it's pulled back for a potential continuation. But it needs to break above like some resistance here by 95.15 for price to continue moving up on silver. On that 5-minute mop up this traffic. But beautiful PA on silver. I think like Goldie's slowly getting there as well. It's slowly setting up for that. With buys above maybe like 47.28. Beautiful breakout this was to the downside to fill that range. Now hopefully you can see the same thing emulated towards the upside. A similar situation. I'm going to try take a nap 1 hour before gym, then NYSC. Stay safe all. Alright, Woods. Enjoy that gym sesh. I paid dues yesterday. It's nice to see people at the gym paying dues. It's always good to know that, you know, people are struggling in a good way. There was a lady in the gym yesterday. She was like moaning. Like, hey, what's going on here? Giving birth? Sounded like she was giving birth or something. Like, holy. Like a tennis player. You know, like when tennis players like hit the ball? You're playing tennis over here. Hey, yo, chat. But I think I'm going to enjoy myself at ice cream as well. I'm going to just be okay with watching this trade play out. And then find myself trading after a small little break over here. See, all right. See, gold. Nice. Hey, but we're live, right? We're live. I think we should be good. We should be good. I got backup internet now, so we should be ready for the next one. The next time the system fails and the matrix attack is upon us, we should be ready for the next matrix attack. We live, chat? Write something in the chat. Heiko, thank you for the sub. Appreciate it. Ricardo, we good? AJ? In the Discord? Y'all good? How's chat doing? How's chat doing? Y'all asleep? I see you. Some of you lying in bed right now just listening. Leave a cheeky W. Wake up real quick for a cheeky W. One cheeky W before you go back to bed. Alright, nice. Hey Vic, I want to teach my girl how to trade and she's been asking me to teach her, but I'm not big on teaching. Can you please tell me where to start or what are the first things to teach her? Oh. Gotta send them a few videos over there. You know the best way to do it? When somebody asks you they want to learn how to trade, send them a bunch of videos See if they actually watch those videos before even putting in effort to refine what you should be teaching them. Because most people, you're going to give them the videos, they're not even going to want to watch them. You're going to waste your time, you know, putting up this playlist for them, and they're not even going to watch it. So see how serious they are first. Send them a few videos. Google the basic stuff that you know. Support resistance. Oh no, actually, send her a link to gbpjpy.com and tell her to go through that university. It's already there. You don't have to do a lot of heavy lifting. Tell her to go on gbpjpy.com. It will literally talk her step by step everything. The lot size, the trading platforms, what is trading, what is this. That's what she needs to go through. And if she can go through that, then you know she's ready for the advanced stuff, right? Then you can lay upon her the actual information that will make her profitable. So go on babypips.com, then go and learn trading, and then go start learning, and then tell her to go through School of Pipology. So you're going to see preschool, what is forex, who trades forex, kindergarten, forex brokers, types of charts, elementary, Japanese candlesticks, Fibonacci's, moving averages, middle school, oscillators, momentum, pivot points, summer school, Heikin-Ashi, Elliott wave theory, high school, trading breakouts and fakeouts, fundamental analysis, trading divergences, currency crosses, undergraduate freshman, market sentiment, trading news. It's like a proper education right here, you know? And then they're going to be ready for the actual stuff. So course outline, the US dollar index. Intermarket correlations, using equities to trade FX, keeping a trading journal, how to use MetaTrader. Amazing. Free information. Don't send her an ICT video. Then she's gonna be really confused. Most of your times, your friends will ask them to, for you to help them to learn how to trade, but they wouldn't even get through. They wouldn't even get through the School of Pipology or even the videos that you send them. Yeah, price of breaking should actually be moving up here. Should be filling that range. But oh, we got 5 minutes before pre-NY. So and pre-NY should be opening in about 5 minutes. We're waiting for that hourly open. I remember going through baby pips. Seems like it was hundreds of years ago. You know, so, a friend of mine told me one trick that he once used on a guy who asked him for money, who was just going to be useless with the money because most likely going to blow it. So he said, okay, listen, you're asking me for, I think at the time it was $1,000, right? But I will give you half of that. I'll give you $500 and I'll help you get a job. But you have to write a resume, a proper resume, and send it to me. And then I can look at it and then help you get a job. Right? Because the idea was he didn't want to help this weak person because he knew that this person was just going to blow that money. Right? He was just being useless. He had a substance abuse problem. He was an alcoholic. So that's what he did to get rid of him. Up to this day, the guy never sent him a resume. And that was a free $500. Just to conjure up a resume, send it to him, and at least put some effort in to show that you are deserving of this support. So you can pay it forwards. Right? Like when you support somebody, you're supporting them of the idea that they're going to pay it forwards. That they're going to support the next person. You don't always want to be supporting backwards. You got to be supporting forwards. Some people are going to come to you and say, hey, Vic, remember that time I helped you? Then say, yes, I remember that time you helped me because now it's my time to pay that forwards. It's not my time now to support you because now we're moving backwards. Right? A lot of time in life, you're going to have people come to you and say, hey, Vic, remember that one time? Like, yes, and I appreciate it. Thank you for helping me during that time. But you're doing it so we can pay it forwards. Always remember that, chat. Wait, all right. Where's my chat at? I think I need to refresh this right here. Trump threatened to tariff France 200% on their wines and champagne. This explains the bull rally this morning. See, I just learned blowing accounts and then researching why it happened and then watching other people trade until I figured out what works best for me. Came here because I hate trading alone. Hey, welcome, welcome. Abigail. That looks like John Wick on your picture over there. Gotta pay it forwards. All right. So, yeah, I think internet should be stable. Found a solution to the quick problem here. Yeah, remember sending your chart work as well if you got any trades you want to get some reviews on over here on our analysis. This is the best London session stream Discord right over here. You gotta send us some chart work. Let's see your trades taken, analysis, this sort of thing. What is it, like price trying to push up? Oh, it's accumulating, reversal play, reversal confirmation signal if it re-breaks these lows. But if it re-breaks those highs, that's a good thing, good sign. Hey chat, but I think I will see you all tomorrow. I'll see you for the London Open, and take care everybody. I appreciate everybody tuning in, and yeah, adios, take care.